Hey guys, Visions of Matt here, and I'm actually holding a Super Nintendo today. You might be wondering why I'm holding a Super Nintendo. Or you already know because you looked at the title of this YouTube video. The reason I'm holding a Super Nintendo is because of the great announcement that we had last week from Nintendo at the Nintendo Direct that we were getting not one, not two, not three, but 20 new Super Nintendo games on the Switch. And the reason I stress 20 is because, you know, fans were complaining, why don't we get any other games besides NES games? And Nintendo heard them. And not only did they hear them, they heard them big time, because they said, here's not one, not two, not three, here's 20 games. They threw them all out at once. I was not expecting that. I was expecting a slow drip of releases, maybe one every month, two a month or something like that. But to have 20 all at once is really awesome. So thank you, Nintendo, for that. And they're not just 20 duds. They're 20, well, most of them are extremely good games. There's like 2 or 3 games in there they threw in there. I'm not sure why they're on there, but I guess they just had to, you know, fill up the space just to give us 20. So let's just go over that list of the 20. And I think that Nintendo was just tired of hearing it from the fans about how they don't have any other games. So like, here's 20, just shut up now and be happy. So I have my Switch up right here. I just want to go over the list with you guys and tell you what I think of it. Bralla Brothers. I actually had never even heard of that game until I got it on my Switch last week. And I played it, and I really liked it. It's kind of almost like Final Fight. It's not as good as Final Fight, but it's a fun beat 'em up. I think you can do 2-player. That would be cool to play online with other people. Breath of Fire. That's the RPG that I'm not really that familiar with. I do know it's a good RPG. Demon's Quest is a really good game. I haven't really spent a lot of time with it because I know it's pretty expensive. I've never really played it a lot until recently. I just tried it for the first time late last week, and it was fun. F-Zero is a classic. I mean, I think it was one of the first Super Nintendo games that came out in the U.S., and I had it for a while. And it's an awesome racing game. Okay, Joe and Mac 2. I played this game for the first time this morning, and I gotta say, it's awesome. Joe and Mac 2 right there. I played the first one on Super Nintendo a while back. I liked it. The second one's even better. It's just a really fun side-scrolling platforming game. I think you'll probably play 2 players with this one too. I haven't tried it yet. You just fight a bunch of dinosaurs and cavemen and stuff like that. I love the theme of that. Really fun game. Kirby's Dream Course. Hey, not everyone likes this game. I personally love this game. It combines 2 of my favorite things. Kirby, of course, one of my favorite things. And then mini golf. So it's kind of like you just control Kirby in a mini golf course. And it's a lot of fun. Definitely check out Kirby's Dream Course. Speaking of Kirby, we got Kirby's Dreamland 3, which is a little bit of a rare game because it came out late in the Super Nintendo release. So it's kind of expensive. I do have a copy of it on my Super Nintendo. But for them to give that to us here on the Switch is great because it's a really fun game, awesome game. Pilot Wings, another release game for the Super Nintendo. I think I had that one since day one when I first got my Super Nintendo along with Super Mario World, and I love that game personally. Flight simulator game, a lot of fun. Starfox, it hasn't aged too well because the graphics just don't look as good now because, you know, they're 3D. They're really the really early days of 3D. And it's kind of hard to play these days, but it's still a fun game if you like Star Fox. Stunt Race FX, I used to like that game a lot, but guys, this game also has not aged well at all. It just looks horrendous. Like, the frame rate is so slow. It looks like it's like 5 or 10 frames per second, but it had to be that slow. It had to be that slow to get this thing working on a Super Nintendo. So it was a really cool concept back in the day. They threw it on here because they wanted to build up some excitement. I believe it was never released on any other console besides Super Nintendo. So now that it's on Switch, they want to try to build it up a little bit, but it hasn't aged too well. We got Earth Defense Force, which I have. It's a really fun shooter. We have Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That game is fun. It's just too difficult. All those Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins games, for me, I can never make it past level 1. Maybe you guys are better than me at these games, but I suck at them. Super Mario Kart's the classic, of course. What else can I say about it? Awesome game. Super Mario World, again. Wow, to just throw all these amazing games at us at once, it's just overwhelming and exciting. So another awesome game. And then they gave us Yoshi's Island too, which is also, you know, it's like these two are actually like almost tied as far as I'm concerned, as far as platformers on the Super Nintendo. They're both really solid titles. And when they released Yoshi's Island, they were able to discover so much more stuff with how the Super Nintendo works. The graphics are just incredible. Like, even compared to the first one, like, they really discovered all this new stuff. The graphics look so good. We got Super Metroid, which I love Metroid, the first one, the Super Metroid. I never really got into that one, but I know it's a good game. We have Puyo Puyo Super Puyo Puyo 2, which looks like it's a Japanese. It's so tiny. It's like those Japanese narrow Super Famicom boxes, but it's a fun puzzle game. We have Super Soccer. The only thing I know about Super Soccer is it looks like Donald Trump is on the cover of it. I've never actually played it before, but it looks like Donald Trump is on the cover of it. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get it in focus here. If you can't see it, I'll try to put a picture up here. This dude looks exactly like Donald Trump. It's really weird. I don't know if he was modeling before he became president of the United States, but he's on the cover of that thing, so that's interesting. We have Super Tennis, which people like. I don't really like that game. It's hard to control, I've noticed, and I'm not a huge fan of it. And then we have Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, one of the best Super Nintendo games, one of the best Zelda games of all time. So like I said, again, guys, this is a very solid list that Nintendo hooked us up with. I'm very pleased with this. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do now that they gave us 20 all at once. And I'm assuming they're going to do what they've done in the past, which is they're just going to slowly release 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 per month for those of us who have Nintendo Online. And I guess they'll release like maybe 1 or 2 Nintendo NES and 1 or 2 Super NES every month. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's interesting that it's been exactly 1 year since this Nintendo Online service started. And last year, when they announced that they gave us that 20 NES games, this year they gave us the 20 Super NES games. Guys, I'm starting to notice a pattern. I think I wouldn't be surprised that if the next August, Nintendo gives us 20 N64 games or 20 Game Boy games. I'm not sure which one they're going to do first, but it seems like that's the way that they're going with this. And then also Nintendo also announced that they're coming out with a Super Nintendo controller specifically for the Switch, kind of like they did with the NES. I guess it plugs into this. I don't know if this one plugs into the side because that would be really awkward to play. That would be kind of weird. I guess maybe just the charger that plugs into the side. And then you just take it out and you can play it like with Bluetooth. But the cool thing about this one is that you don't have to get both. Like with the NES, you had to get 2 of them, and they're $60. With this one, you can only get 1 if you want, and I believe it's like $25 or $30 each, maybe $35. I can't quite remember. But that's all I have for you guys today on this exciting news about the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo fans all over are getting their Switches out, and they're playing all these 20 great games. That's all I got, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a great week, and keep it real.